This is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keyser.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, July 8th. Show number 187 coming at you back in our the Hammer Down Racing Report home studios, presented by Oakshade Raceway. Fun week last week at Big D's Pizza.
Oh, it was.
So, and we've got a lot.
I really miss being fed.
Yeah, my brother came over. He brought pizza over earlier, so I'm all good. I should have invited you over. You come over. We could set up a studio here, or we're talking about maybe setting up a studio at Ron's. I know that probably won't work for Jerry because that's quite a commute for you, and the amount I pay you doesn't quite cover the fuel.
Yeah, the travel allotment just isn't quite.
But we've got a couple extra bedrooms. You know, if you ever ditch that pavement gig, you'd be really close to for Oakshade.
Oh man! You know, that's not the first time I've heard that this week.
Well, maybe we'll figure. We'll get something. We'll sort something out here, I think, and maybe we'll get live guests back as an option once again, and maybe just at least Ron and I and Jerry the third wheel. I'm just kidding, man. It's all good. Coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Even if you don't like us, just click the like button anyways. It's more of a suggestion more than you actually having to like us. Follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. Follow us on YouTube. And, of course, you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You can also check out hammerdownracingreport.com, which I think I forgot to update this week, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
I know, I'm bad. And I do apologize for our listeners that do listen to the podcast on Apple or, just the audio-only version. Something happened. I uploaded the show after I got back late last Thursday from Big D's, and apparently I noticed, I think it was Sunday, I noticed that I was like, hey, where's the latest episode of the Hammer Down Race Report on the podcast? And for some reason, it didn't publish. So I had to go back in and publish. So it didn't get published till like Sunday. So I do apologize about that. Usually it comes up later Thursday nights is when that gets published. So you have it first thing Friday mornings. It'll be back, I promise. Tonight on the show, we're going to be speaking with the legendary Brad Doty, as we do once a year. We've been doing this for, I think this is the third year in a row now. We've been
probably, yeah,
previewing the Brad Doty Classic coming up Tuesday at Attica Raceway Park. Not the first World of Outlaw show at Attica this year, as they had one, was it Memorial Day weekend, I believe it was? So, and I'm still not used to the
don't
baby.
Worry, it's not going to
baby face
like
Jerry. What happened? Did it catch on fire during the 4th of July weekend? Did you burn it all off? What's going on?
A tragic accident. No, I
not
had
another
a job
one.
interview and decided to look professional, so I took it off and got rid of the straggle. Now I can grow it back.
All right, fair enough.
Now they know what they're getting into if they hire me. So,
loyal listener Barb Ganser just said hi to Ron and Scott. I don't think she recognized you, Jerry.
Yeah,
she tagged it on a little later.
Yeah,
John says
who the new guy is. And
yeah. Who's that new guy on there? I don't know. We heard we're getting a younger staff now. So.
Don't get much younger than looking than this.
Got to thank Oakshade Raceway. We're the fastest meet to race. Racing every Saturday night this week is the rescheduled Tim Fisher Billy Ruff Memorial. Sportsman paying $444 to win. Late models, bombers, compacts in action, and the vintage American race cars. And I'm hoping that they get that 70s late model back out there. We've had them out there a couple times. That thing is pretty badass. All those old cars are pretty badass, and they go at it for an exhibition. They put on a couple heat races and a feature, and these guys are going at it, and they're open cockpit kind of things. Not the most safest machines, but they're how they were back in the day, right, Ron?
Absolutely, I remember them.
I'm too young to remember that.
Yeah. The baby face. General admission $14 at Oakshade this Saturday. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. Also have to thank Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, the most technologically advanced goose and duck decoys ever produced. They're manufactured in the U.S. Check out realgeese.com or call 419-800-8100. Check out some of their products on sale on their website at realgeese.com. Also, Big D's Pizza, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, sponsors of the show. And we got a lot of racing action to get caught up on from last week, Jerry.
Let's get into this week's racing roundup. Kicking things off with Attica Raceway Park. Waterville, Ohio's Travis Philo earned his 7th career Attica win on Friday night, holding off DJ Foose to win the 410 feature. Chris Andrews finished 3rd. Ryan Missler earned his 15th career Attica feature win in the late model feature over Mike Boris and Matt Irie. Dustin Stroop tangled with Paul Weaver at the start of the 305 feature, but kept going while Weaver took a tumble. Stroop led the entire distance with Matt Foose and Tyler Schulich finishing 2nd and 3rd. At Lime Lane Motorsports Park last Friday, Sean Dancer won the K&L Ready Mix NRA Sprint Invaders feature going wire to wire. Todd Sherman went back-to-back, picking up his 2nd UMP modified feature in a row. And Craig Dittman also went back-to-back, winning his 2nd Thunderstock feature A-main in a row.
Who?
And Sandusky's that Craig Dittman guy.
Ron Miller East.
Oh, yeah.
Ron Miller East, yeah. He looked really good. It was a pretty good time. Dittman had a great run. Todd Sherman.
I believe he just had a birthday, too.
Yeah, he did.
So got a birthday present. Happy birthday.
Yeah, Taylor came along. She didn't have the best night on the track, but she had a good time. I've seen her post a lot of pictures, and it sounded like she had fun being back at Lima Land. That was her 2nd start ever at Lima Land, so glad to have them come down and race with us. Sandusky Speedway was in action last Friday night. Sam Stout took the Renegades feature over Eric Johnson and Clayton Oliver. Johnny Newman took the Pure Stock feature over Kyle Lawson and Wayne Sweeney. On Saturday night, Ben Watson took the Renegades feature over Friday night's winner Sam Stout and Dylan Napier. Bill Rabbits took the Pure Stock feature win over Travis Aslaxon. I hope I'm close. And Dan Smith. Kyle Edwards took the MSS Super Modified feature over Trent Stevens and Mo Lilly. Spencer Atkins took the beginner stock feature over Laney. What are this? Is this all like Nordic names up there? I don't get it. Laney.
This is why I have you do this part now.
But man, that's a lot of like Nordic names, like Icelandic.
I'll have to get with Doug Dock to get the pronunciations next time.
Yeah.
Icelandic. They're the Vikings at Sandusky Speedway.
That's exactly what it seems like. That could be a marketing ploy now for Doug and those guys. That's pretty cool. Oakshade Raceway was in action last Saturday night. Rusty Schlenk won a Wild Ursham excavating late model feature over Dusty Moore and Devin Shields. Rusty Smith won his 5th Sportsman feature in a row over Carter Murday and Mike Jessen. Colin Schilt won his 4th consecutive Bomber A main over Shane Stuckey and Jeff Oakes Jr. Corey Gum won the compact feature over Eric Carr and Joe Carr. And Roscoe Stetton won the Bomber B. Sweetwater, Texas, Blake Andrews made the pass for the win of the compact B main, exiting turn 4, coming to the checkered flag.
That was the most exciting race of the night, too. The very end, very last race, everybody's left, and they miss out on this kid from UNOH picking up that win.
That's their own fault for leaving. That's why I love about Oakshade. You never know what class is going to put on the best show and the greatest race of the night.
And his car looked like a Texas flag. It was like a Texas.
That's
it was
awesome.
all decorated as a Texas flag. It was cool.
So, did you tag him with the nickname Lone Star, Blake Lone Star Andrews?
I was not announcing that race because I had just got back up in the tower after the bomber thing. So,
all right. Well, maybe you got to work on that one.
All right, we'll work on that.
Flat Rock, excuse me. Flat Rock Speedway was in action with Greg Stute winning an exciting ARCA Figure 8 20-lap feature. Eric Lee scored his first ARCA Moran Chevrolet Outlaw late model feature of 2021. Dennis Wisman Jr. won the flagpole race. Taking the Figure 8 boat race win in front of a packed grandstand full of enthusiastic fans last night at Flat Rock was Captain Bryce Thompson. Capping off a great school bus Figure 8 night at Flat Rock Speedway, much to the capacity's crowd's delight, was Jack Franzel. We just had Jack on the show there a couple weeks ago.
Hey, it's
Jack
working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a while.
On the show, he won.
Yeah, but it took a couple races, though. I don't think he won that first race, so.
I don't know that there were any races between when he was on and now, were there?
I believe so. Yeah, it was a Friday night at Toledo.
Okay.
He was running that next night, and was it Paget that won that? I don't remember.
I can't remember who won that, but yeah, that's cool. Jack not only did he roll over the bus and get it back on all fours, they didn't drag Kyle Worley to the win by inches. So, congratulations, Jack. Let's see. Fremont, that was 2 weeks ago. We already talked about that one. Shady Bowl
I forgot to delete that. My bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I noticed it.
Yeah.
Shady Bowl Speedway was in action this past weekend, all 3 days. On Friday night, the must-see sprints feature went to J.J. Hennis. Noble Armor Coating Crown Vics, Tyler Brandenberry picking up an exciting win. On Saturday, it was the Dave Nagel Excavating late models with Matt Parsons picking up the win there. Wooten Automotive and Towing Modifieds, Logan McPherson picked up his first win of 2021. In the Adams Automotive Street Stocks, it was Josh Sage picking up the win. Bullet Liner Dayton Thunder Cars, 15-year-old Hunter Hicks picked up his first win of 2021. Harrod Septic Solutions Compacts, it was Mike Wintrow picking up his second of 2021. And then Midwest Champ Carts, Mike Mason picked up an exciting last lap win over Eric Wollison. On Sunday, the Modified Madness feature went to Chris Parker. Compacts, Nick Hall, outsider, came in and took the money. In the Crown Vics, Jimmy McElfresh picked up the win after destroying his car on Friday and spending the weekend rebuilding it at the track. In the 150-lap King of Enduros feature, it was Scotty Marquis picking up the win. Waynesfield Raceway Park was in action with Lockie McHugh out of Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, leading the last 25 laps of the third annual Bob Hampshire Classic at Waynesfield to score his first victory in the U.S. Lee Jacobs finished second and Cap Henry finished third. Isaac Chappell made history Saturday to pick up his third consecutive boss win in the 12th annual Jack Hewitt Classic. He picked up the win after taking the lead with just 6 laps to go and drove to his third consecutive win with the MPD Racing Buckeye Outlaw Sprint Series, the first driver to accomplish that feat in the 11-year history of the series. Former Hewitt Classic winner Lee Underwood finished second, and Corbin Hazlett rounded out the podium. Ian Krieger survived their caution with just 2 laps to go and drove to the win in the USAC Thunder Midgets. Bryce Massengill finished second, and Stratton Briggs finished third. In Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series action, Jonathan Davenport continued his Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series winning streak on Friday night in the Independence 50 at Portsmouth Raceway Park. With 36 laps in the books, Kyle Bronson moved past Tim McCready to hold on to the second position for the remainder of the race. Tim McCready led all 50 laps to pick up Saturday night's Prime Solutions 50 win at Muskingum County Speedway. McCready's third series win of the season was his first ever win at the Moran family promoted facility. Kyle Bronson finished in a runner-up spot for the second night in a row. In his debut at Muskingum County Speedway, Spencer Hughes finished third. Next up for the Lucas Oil late models, looks like they did have the Grassy Smith Memorial was tonight, but that has been canceled due to Hurricane Elsa. And then the Mountain Moonshine Classic at Smoky Mountain Speedway tomorrow and Saturday. World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars were in action. 2-time and defending World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series champion Brad Sweet snagged his 4th consecutive victory at Cedar Lake Speedway on Friday night. On a green-white checkered restart, Sweet slid by Carson Macedo to take the lead and went on to the checkered flag. Macedo held on to finish second, and Aaron Reitzel finished third. Brad Sweet scored his 5th consecutive victory at Cedar Lake on Saturday night. Took the lead on lap 13 again from Carson Macedo and crossed the finish line 8.834 seconds ahead of Macedo. Gio Selzy rounded out the podium. Next up for the Outlaw Sprint Series, Badger 40 at Wilmot Speedway in Wilmot, Wisconsin on Saturday, June 10th. On Tuesday, June 13th, is the Brad Doty Classic at Attica Raceway Park, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Jerkers Wild at Eldora on Wednesday. On Thursday, it'll be the 38th Annual Kings Royal. On June 15th, it'll be the night before the Kings Royal on Friday, and the 37th Kings Royal on Saturday at Eldora. In NASCAR action, Kyle Busch picked up his 101st NASCAR Xfinity Series victory by winning the Henry 180 at Road America Saturday afternoon. He beat Daniel Hemrick by 3.5 seconds for the victory. Michael Annett was third. In the Cup Series, Chase Elliott dominated the second half of the Jockey Made in America 250 at Road America, cruising to his 2nd victory of the season and the 7th road course. It was the first NASCAR Cup Series race at Road America since 1956. Christopher Bell finished 2nd, and Kyle Busch came home 3rd.
Kyle Larson proved that he's human.
I know.
Yes, he did. He's got to give him some hope. He can't win them all and make it boring for NASCAR.
What was he, 12th, 15th, something like that?
He must have given Chase his setup, and I don't know. Or maybe they switched helmets and Kyle was driving the 9.
Maybe Kyle is not a super road course guy. I don't know.
I've seen him do good on road courses too. So
we all have.
Been a fluke. Yep. Maybe that chassis just wasn't the best one in the Hendrick stable, and they got to go back to the.
They missed the setup. They missed the setup just a little. That's
there you go. Good as excuse as any. Next up for NASCAR, the Cup Series is in action for the Quaker State 400 on Sunday, July 11th on NBC Sports Network. Xfinity Series, the Credit Karma Money 250 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on Saturday at 3:30. And then the Truck Series, the Corn Belt 150 at Knoxville, Iowa, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports 1.
That'll be
good. Yep.
That ought to be good. I was looking at the entry list. A lot of dirt racing ringers involved there. Should be a fun race to see who can, if it's going to be one of the NASCAR regulars or if it's going to be guys like Brian Brown or one of them that can step in and steal that event. So
Matt Crafton's had a lot of dirt experience in his modified, and he'll be in a truck that he's very familiar with. I look for him to be right up front.
There you go. You heard it first from Felix Fafufnik.
That's it.
Well, Felix, I'm going to buck your trend here, and I'm going to call the winner for tomorrow. I'm going to say Stuart Friesen picks up the win at Knoxville.
Yeah, it could be. I wonder if his wife is running.
She is entered.
Is
they
she?
are both entered. Yes, that ought to be fun.
Right.
As long as she doesn't dump it.
She was supposed to be at the Bristol
yeah.
race, wasn't she? And something happened.
Yeah.
Qualifying got rained out or something, and she didn't qualify for it.
Yep. So that'll be fun to watch. Those two are great ambassadors for not only dirt racing but for racing in general. So
They
I'm
are.
really
They are.
hoping
They're
to see
great
them do
people.
well. Yes, they are. NTT IndyCar Series was in action. Joseph Newgarden started on the pole and led 73 laps of the 80-lap contest to claim the 19th victory of his NTT IndyCar Series career at the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Newgarden defeated Marcus Ericsson by 0.879 seconds. NTT IndyCar Series points leader Alex Palou was third. Next up for the IndyCars, the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix on the street course in Nashville on Sunday, August 8th at 5:30 on ESPN, NBC Sports Network.
There you go.
Camping World SRX Series is in action. Ernie Francis Jr. scored an emphatic victory in the Camping World SRX Series race Saturday night at Lucas Oil Raceway, beating NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Labonte in a 2-lap shootout to the finish. He led the final 65 laps in the 76-lap race around the 0.686 mile oval near Indianapolis. Scott Speed finished third. Next up for the SRX Series, Slinger Speedway on Saturday, July 10th at 8 p.m. on CBS. Other notes, Dirt Car Summer Nationals updates. Davenport Speedway last Thursday, Bobby Pierce picked up the win, as well as on Friday at the dirt track at Route 66. At Fayette County Speedway on Saturday, it was Brandon Shepard. Lincoln Speedway on Sunday, also Brandon Shepard. Ashton Winger picked up the win at Knox County Fair Raceway on Tuesday. And last night, Bobby Pierce picked up another victory in the Summer Nationals.
And we haven't been talking about it, but how about what's his face, modified driver, whose name?
Nick Hoffman.
Yes, who's been
11
undefeated,
wins,
isn't he?
11 wins for 11 entries.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but notice he didn't take part in the event that Kenny Wallace was at. So
Right.
Is that how? Okay. And that was the one
Nick
Kenny Wallace
Hoffman
won.
fears Kenny Wallace. I'm putting it right out there. I hope he sees this video.
Yeah.
Nick Hoffman fears nobody. I know that I've been lucky enough to call a couple events with him, and he is a stud behind the wheel of a modified. And I would love to see him and Kenny duel it out at some point here during the Summer Nationals. Maybe at a track in around
Northwest
Ohio.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Northwestern Ohio could be, that could be big.
Could be the battleground. We could see it right there. So we'll
Pretty sure they've both won there too.
Kenny has not won that I know of, but he was crowned champion because the series, the modifieds used to end. Brian Ruhlman won that race, and Schrader won the championship that year. But yeah.
So there you go. Hopefully Kenny and Nick are both watching this. We can get them up to Oak Shade and put on a show for the fans. That'd be great. It sucks. I won't be able to be there, but you guys will have to fill me in on all the fun.
Well, we will. So
next up for the Hell Tour, Macon Speedway in Illinois tonight, Farmer City Raceway tomorrow, Highland Speedway in Illinois Saturday, Tri-State Indiana on Sunday, Lake Cumberland Tuesday, Circle City Indiana on Wednesday, and then Thunderbird Michigan next Thursday. And that does it for this week's Racing Roundup.
Maybe one of our listeners can fill us in. I had heard that local racer Rusty Schlenk was heading out on the tour starting tonight. Don't know if that happened. Maybe somebody can help us.
No, maybe we can ask Brad. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think he'll know. But I'll ring up Brad Doty here.
Hello?
Mr. Doty.
Yes.
Hey, it's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, a.k.a. he's going by Felix Fafufnik tonight, and Jerry Keyser on the phone. How's it going?
I'm going well. How about you guys?
Pretty good.
That's great.
What do you got going on the Thursday before the big Brad Doty Classic coming up next week?
Oh man, it's been a crazy last couple of days. Just getting things buttoned up and a lot going on. Just been at it all day on the phone a lot, and just making sure things are taken care of and people are taken care of, and everybody's got the passes they need, and that we got shirts coming, and the event shirt is supposed to arrive tomorrow, and so just a lot of last minute stuff that happens every year.
Cool. The event shirts, are these only available at the actual event, or can people order them?
Well, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
In the past, they were available online, but we're not. Like I said, we haven't even gotten ours for the event yet, so I don't know if they're gonna if they printed any extra, or if they are going to put them up online. So they've been, like everybody else, having trouble getting supplies and ink and different things and getting help. So they are way behind. And literally, when you have an event, they know that it's a certain date and it's a cutoff. They have to have them done. Where drivers and other everybody wants their stuff for big races and everything, but there's only enough time and so much time in the day. So anyway, we got ours done, and after that, I don't know. So people can watch my Twitter feed at Brad Doty 18 and for updates on that, because I have had a couple people ask me on Twitter, and same thing, I just don't know yet.
Is there anything else that the supply chain issues are creating any possible issues for Tuesday?
I don't think so. Obviously we had the record for a couple of years of the highest car count for a single day World of Outlaws race anywhere in the country, which we were pretty proud of that. But, I think we're 40 to 50 cars is about average. And, a lot of teams are having some issues with engine pieces and parts. So they're, some are trying to save, and I know Hoosier and some of the tire companies, are having trouble, but I think the tire situation shouldn't affect us. It sounds like, and maybe, a few teams that are concerned about equipment, but, everybody I've talked to so far says they're coming. So, it's a long time between now and then, but, I think that, obviously with the World of Outlaws, we're going to have a great field of cars with them and the Attica regulars. And I know we're going to get well. Anthony Macri told me a few weeks ago, he's coming in from Pennsylvania, and got some other drivers that, are considering. Christopher Bell confirmed it. He's going to be there in Kevin Swindell. Yeah, he'll be there in Kevin Swindell's car. So
is Kyle Larson coming?
That I can't say for sure. Have to kind of the same thing. You have to stay tuned, I guess, and watch my Twitter feed. But I'm hoping he does.
Will he let you know ahead of time, or will he just show up?
Well, that depends on some things too. So, I don't want to get myself in trouble. I just got my fingers crossed that he'll be there. We would like the defending winner to be at the event, but, the same thing, people watch Attica, Twitter feed or my Twitter feed, Monday or Tuesday for an update on that. So, as soon as we know for sure, everyone will know. Put it that way.
Sounds good.
Brad, you've got your finger on sprint car racing. What's with the Australian invasion? We've been seeing a lot of Aussie racers running very well.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talent down there. I mean, they don't have NASCAR in Australia, so sprint car racing, they do have the what are they called? The sedan, I can't think off the top of my head. Basically the sedans, road racing and that down there, and they do get a Formula One race, and I think an IndyCar race, but they don't have a national series like NASCAR. So sprint car racing is just huge in Australia, and they produce some really good drivers, and they prove that when they come over here.
I think our good friend Wade Auger is pretty influential in their sprint car series.
Oh yeah, he's a great announcer, man. That guy, I tell him, I said he literally makes me tired and wears me out just talking to him. He's got his mind. It runs 1,000 miles per hour, and he's always got this idea and that idea. If you've ever seen him in action announcing a race or seen him at the Knoxville Nationals, the guy just doesn't stop. And I've told him that. I said, man, you're wearing me out, So, but yeah, he does a great job, and yeah, he's had some influence on a lot of young drivers. Helping get sponsorships and get them rides and that kind of thing, and get them some PR. So everybody has to pull together on this thing.
Speaking of kids and drivers coming from out of the area, what do you think of these guys, these kids coming from California and making a name for themselves here in Ohio? Buddy Kofoid, Macedo,
Oh yeah, the same thing. I mean, California, even back, I'm an old timer, but back in my day, in the early '80s and stuff. I mean, California had some very top teams. I mean, a lot of them were capable of running with the World of Outlaws, but things were good at home, and kind of the attitude, why travel the country when we're doing good here at home. But boy, I tell you, when we got into California, we had our hands full as the World of Outlaws drivers, and so there's always been a lot of talent out there. But for years, a lot of people didn't know it. A lot of them stayed on. I mean, Brent Kading traveled and got out and about, and some other drivers. But man, the last few years, they've just had more opportunity to get rides, or they have a good enough team that's willing to travel and get them out around the country to showcase what they can do. And there, a lot of the tracks in California are just little bull rings, and that teaches you how to race, how to get through traffic, how to be aggressive, and that's what why I think California produces such good drivers.
And it's not just California, but the West Coast, and it's been this way for years. I mean, Jeff Gordon has raced around here. He's from California. Casey Kane came from Enumclaw, Washington. Yeah. And you hit it, Washington, Oregon too. Yes, they've got a lot of good racers, out there too. And of course, Skagit's the big deal out in Washington. And I don't want to take anything from any of the other tracks, but definitely, Skagit has several big races and some World of Outlaws races, and the same thing, when the World of Outlaws go rolling into Skagit, they know that the local guys are going to be tough to beat.
Brad, you've been very vocal over the years about your love for Ascot Raceway. You had some very good success out there over the years. What does it mean when you go back in your memory banks, some of the races you had at Ascot?
Oh man, it was just a beautiful facility. Excuse me. It was, almost right in downtown Los Angeles. I mean, you could see if I remember right, you could see the Hollywood sign from the Speedway, but I know, it's set in the middle of a bunch of the famous California highways, and you could get celebrities showing up at events, and a lot of movies and TV shows were filmed there. And it was just a special place. And it was really well known for the CRA non-wing racing, where they really backed them in. It had tight, flat corners, and just seeing the billboards all the way around the place, and palm trees in the infield. I was very fortunate to win the biggest race of my career, which was the Pacific Coast Nationals. And, it was one of the crown jewels at that time, in sprint car racing. And, that was the last race of the 1986 World of Outlaws, the last World of Outlaws race of 1986. And then we opened the season right back there in February of 1987 with a 2-day show, and I won both of those. So I won 3 straight World of Outlaws races at Ascot. So it's easy for me when people ask me what's my favorite track, it's easy to answer it. It's Ascot.
Now, is that do you write about that in your autobiography, Still Wide Open?
Oh yeah. A lot of that's in there, you know. And in my first trip ever out, I went out with Kenny Jacobs, just as basically a grunt or to help in any way I could with his team. He was driving for Harold Kemenall at the time, and that was my first trip out west and to see, you know, Phoenix. Went to the Western World at Manzanita, and then the Pacific Coast Nationals at Ascot and some other tracks. And so, yeah, it was a special place, even, you know, when I was really young, and then when I got to racing and got a name for myself and got good enough to go out there and race, you know, man, it was really, really special to not only get to race out there, but to win some races.
Well, no, you released a expanded and enhanced version of Still Wide Open in 2011. Is there going to be another one coming? You know, because that was 12 years from when Still Wide Open first came out. So maybe 2023. No. Will there be more, or is it?
Well, probably not. But actually, we just did. You know, that was sold out within a couple of years, and we just did do a with Dave Argerbright, the co-author, and just that was the first book. The first one was in 1999. And that was the first book he had ever written. And he's done, I don't know, 8 or 10 since. And but he finally recently did a reprint, limited edition reprint of that 2011 book. And so we do have some out and available at daveargerbright.com. But it's nothing, no updated version as of yet. So you know, that one was updated from the original one in 99, like I said, had colored. This one has colored pictures and some more information in it than the original. But, yeah, I know Dave's busy and I've been busy, so I don't foresee another edition.
No, I know most of our audience is familiar with your past and everything and who Brad Doty is, but for those that may not be familiar with Brad Doty and his story, you know, with what happened at Eldora years ago, go ahead and give us a brief synopsis of that whole deal.
All right. Well, and speaking about the World of Outlaws, in 1982, I was Rookie of the Year with the World of Outlaws, and then I ran on and off with the series through 1987. Didn't run every year, but in 1987, I finished second in the points to Steve Kinzer, who went on to be a 20-time champion and arguably the best wing sprint car driver ever. So to finish second to him was we had a great year, best season I ever had financially, most wins. And so in 1988, unfortunately, I had an accident at Eldora Speedway and at the Kings Royal and was paralyzed. And so, you know, life changed, obviously. And so, but I was lucky. A few years later, I got involved in TV and been doing, you know, World of Outlaws and some other series TV as a color analyst for many years, and got very fortunate to be able to stay involved in the sport and still be part of it.
Are you still doing TV or media today?
Yes, actually we are. A lot of stuff's obviously online, streaming, and they just plug into the announcer usually. And so, but the World of Outlaws has done about 4 or 5 TV races every year for the last 4 or 5 years that air on CBS Sports network, and usually they air in the off season. And so unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know they're on and have missed them. But I am going to do 5 or 6 Power Eye midget races and some asphalt sprint car races for MAV TV this year. So
awesome.
Things could get real busy, and it's usually, like I said, from July on when the TV stuff really picks up.
Wish they do that stuff live.
Yeah, well, actually, believe it or not, last year during COVID, we did 3 live. The World of Outlaws did 3 live broadcasts, and it's the first time that World of Outlaws have been live 10 or 15 years. And it was I actually drove to Charlotte is where the studio is, where we've been voicing the shows for years. And it's about a 7-hour drive, and I can drive it in the time it takes me to get to an airport, change planes, get a rental car, get back up. So anyway, I prefer driving it. But so last year we did 3 live shows. 2 of them were Dave Reef and I, Dave's the play-by-play and I'm the analyst. We were in the studio in Charlotte, and we were more or less the host, or Dave was the host, and I would analyze things between races. But when it would go to live racing, we would throw it to Johnny Gibson with his live call. So it went out over live TV as a live call, and then they'd come back to us in the studio. And then we actually did a live where I was Dave Reef and I both were at Cedar Lake, Wisconsin, up in the booth. It reminded me of the old days. They had since I'm in a wheelchair, it takes 2 or 3 pretty good sized guys to carry me up the steps, wheelchair and all. And it's usually 100 degrees, it seems like. Oh. But and it was hot, and they got me up there, and we actually did an on-camera open, which even with the voiceover stuff, we're not usually on camera. So I had to put a sport coat on and sit in the hot sun to do an open for the show. But I'll admit it was really nice, because it was it was kind of reminded me of the good old days when we did like 18 live shows a year. But so we did do that, and ironically, and right in the midst of COVID, Wisconsin at that time was pretty much open, so we were able to get it done, and the ratings seemed to be good. But it's really hard to do sprint car racing live. There's so much downtime, and it's hard to, one big flip or tearing down the fence or something, or it can really delay things, and it's really costly to buy the airtime, and especially if the show's running late. So that's why one of the main reasons we don't see a lot of live sprint car racing on TV.
Gotcha.
Well, Brad, on the other side of that, I understand that I've been talking to Tim Nichols a little bit. He said, told me that you may be doing some stuff with Brett Wheeler on Ultimate Dirt TV with iRacing.
Yeah, he's brought it up. The biggest issue is I only had a 1.5 megabits internet speed until about a year ago, and I got a whopping 10, and then they doubled it to 20. Well, it's been out for the last. We talked about maybe me doing this on a Zoom or however video, and it literally has been out for the last 2 to 3 days, and they said it would be tomorrow at 2 before we get it back on, and it came back on a couple hours ago. So it's not very dependable, and so that's the issue with working with Tim and what he wants to do is whether my internet can handle it. So we're going to do some test runs and see what happens.
Let's talk about the Brad Doty Classic coming up on Tuesday at Attica Raceway Park. What year is this? Is this
33rd annual?
33rd. Okay, I knew it was 30 something, but 33rd annual.
Yep.
How can people get tickets for this? There's advanced ticket sales, right?
Oh yeah, yep. And there's reserved seats, plenty available. They can go to AtticaRacewayPark.com. And just click on there's a banner down. They just click on it, buy tickets, or worldofoutlaws.com and click on the NOS Energy Drink logo and go to their schedule. They can buy them, click on buy tickets there as well. But, we're doing really well. The reserve seats, the advanced seats are probably the best they've been in years. So that's a good sign. And, but I want people to know, Attica added 1,000 seats over the winter, and so we will not sell out. I don't believe we general admission obviously there's lots of general admission seats, and pit passes are available to anyone at any age. That's the nice thing about Attica. People can go in and mingle and see the drivers up close and look what they're doing with the race cars, and there's a pit grandstands on both sides of the racetrack that people can find a seat. A lot of times, the team members will go up while their car's out on the track, and as soon as their car's off the track, they bail and go and do something else. So there's always shuffling going on where people can hopefully find a seat.
How much less stress do you have this year, not having to worry about the COVID restrictions that we had last year?
Quite a bit, but I always stress over the weather, and so last year was a strange deal. Not sure what was going to happen. With the King's Royal not running, and that and be limited to the amount of seats we could sell in the grandstand, and how successful the race was going to be. And it ended up being a really great night. It was a beautiful day, and that's what I said. Wouldn't you know? No threat of rain, no beautiful weather in the midst of COVID. But it was a great race, and those didn't know, like I said earlier, Kyle Larson won the race last year, and so it was. We had a good crowd, and it was a tremendous race.
Brad, I was looking at the winners list of the Brad Doty Classic over the last 32 years, and it reads like a who's who of sprint car racing. Guys like Jack Hewitt, Bobby Allen, Steve Kinzer, Jack Hodenshield, obviously, but you've also got some guys in there that some surprise names like Alvin Ripke, a local guy like Greg Wilson, Dean Jacobs. What's it mean to have a race that's been so diverse for the last 32 years and be so successful over the course of time?
Oh man, it means so much, and I do get asked this question a lot, and the seeing the emotion of some of the drivers who have won it is pretty special. I don't want to start naming names, I guess, but it's surprising. There's been a couple of drivers who really surprised me that showed some emotion and genuinely felt made it known that it was a special win for them, and they've had a lot of wins, and so for them to react like that, it really drives it home. And people, you asked about the stress and that kind of thing. I was on another show. I was talking with Erin Evernham the other day, the former sprint car driver, and she won a World of Outlaws race out in Oregon, I believe it was, a long time ago. And as I explained to her, it's like leading a race from the green flag, and somebody's right on your bumper and you can't let up, and your adrenaline's pumping and you're stressing and you just driving as hard as you can. When that checkered flag falls, it's such a relief. It's not jubilation sometimes, it's a relief. And that's kind of the way this promoting a race is, or this race is. People ask me, once I get there, do I relax? I don't relax until the checkered flag falls. Once that checkered flag falls and we're in victory lane, that literally is just 1,000 pounds off my shoulders. That's when things, I can finally relax and breathe and soak it all in.
And when do you start thinking about next year's Brad Doty Classic after that?
Well, we usually I try to mentally take, some time off, but it usually doesn't take long because, Rex Lejeune and John Boris at the track, we've always got ideas and things that we see at every event that, we need to change that. We need to fix this for next year, that kind of thing, so we make mental notes and physically write down things sometimes to talk with each other to say, okay, this worked, that didn't work, or this, we need to work on this. We need more of this or less of that kind of thing. And that's, so it usually doesn't take long where, one of us getting a hold of the other, say, hey, what do you think about this for next year kind of thing? So it can be fun. It can be nerve wracking, but it can be fun.
Anything different fans can expect at this Brad Doty Classic on Tuesday? Other than the additional grandstand seating?
Yeah, no, not really, I guess. Well, we have our own potato chips. We've got JR's Taters have we put the logo on some potato chips, and we've got a new the race logo. If anybody has seen, it's a yellow logo with the bandit and all of our sponsors on it. We've made decals that will be for sale along with the event T-shirt. And you mentioned the list of drivers. Of course, the event T-shirt always has the list of all the former winners on the back of the shirt. And so, they'll be available behind the grandstands, but no, nothing really new. Just, hoping for a good, clean race and a packed grandstands.
We talk about the former winners just a little bit. One of the names that sticks out is the 2007 victor, Jack Hodenshield. Jack on his farewell tour this year. What would it mean to have your good friend Jack Hodenshield back in victory lane at the Brad Doty Classic on Tuesday?
It'd be special, and I don't know. I think it was, I don't know how many years ago, Sheldon. He was in the 93 is the car he owned basically himself, and had like a straightaway lead with 10 laps to go, and they probably weren't going to catch him, and that would have been the first father-son winners, and a caution came out, and I believe it was the year Donnie shot. He won. I think he started 15th, and Pittman took a provisional and came from 25th to 3rd or something like that. It was a heck of a race. But when you mentioned the Hodenshields, that pops into my mind too. That I think Jack probably would have been as proud to see Sheldon win it as if he won it himself again.
So how many cars? If you had to guess, how many cars you think are going to be there Tuesday night?
Oh my. I really don't know. I would say minimum of 40. Like I said, we've had as high as 60, but I'm going to guess 50. I'm just going to kind of split the middle and just say I think that's what we had. I believe that's what we had last year. I'd have to look, but I'm guessing somewhere close to 50 cars.
Awesome. Well, Brad, we know you're busy, so we do appreciate the time. Always great talking to you. Brad Doty Classic coming up at Attica Raceway Park on Tuesday. Gates open at 3 o'clock, and then opening ceremonies and racing will start about 7:30 for that. And I guess credit cards are being accepted at the main entrance as well, but cash only for the concession stands, and I'm assuming for the shirts and everything else.
Yeah, that I don't know about for sure. The shirts, yes, that'd probably be cash only.
Bring your cash and bring your credit cards. Bring it all.
Bring it all. That's right. Bring it all.
All right, man. We'll be crossing our fingers for some more great weather again for you this year.
Yeah, we could use that. So really, thanks for having me on, you guys. I really appreciate the help getting the word out.
All right, man. We appreciate it, too.
Thanks for your time, Brad.
Yep. Take care.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
There you go. The legendary Brad Doty talking about his namesake race coming up Tuesday, 33rd annual. I didn't realize it was that. I thought it was 30th. So I'm 3 years off.
Back to the drivers list, and like I said, some of those names on there, from Steve Kinzer, Jack Hewitt, Bobby Allen. It includes, like I said, some of the local stars. Mark Keegan picking up a win back in '93. Alvin Ripke was one of the best victory lanes ever. He comes out of the car and they get the mic for him. Holy moly, I won the Doty. And that was for years, a joke about that. But that's so cool that the Brad Doty Classic has become such an institution in sprint car racing all over the country.
Absolutely. Coming up, we're going to have the weekend weather pit stop with Ron Miller tonight because
whatever.
Speaking of legends,
Ryan Weekman had sent me. He did it. He just sent me the wrong file. He sent the one he did 2 weeks ago. So we could talk about the weather from a couple weeks ago. Not going to help you for this weekend. So we'll have Ron do that. We also have How Many coming up here in just a little bit, and we'll talk about the upcoming races this weekend. Before we get to that, want to mention Freeze Frame Photos. Give them a call for all your racetrack photo needs, whether on the track or in Victory Lane. They do photos by appointment. Freeze Frame Photos, special moments frozen in time, 419-476-9978. And they have some new products as well. Custom calendars, canned koozies, all kinds of cool things. They get like some wood burning things, sign things, very artsy, craftsy kind of stuff. Pretty cool. Good gift stuff. Big D's Pizza, of course. Thanks again to Dean Henry for having us out last week. We did the show right out in the front in the parking lot. We'll have to do that again. That was fun. That was fun.
That was a really good time.
Give Big D's a call. Stop in, order some pizza, 419-547-1444. You can order online, orderbigdspizza.com. Big on taste, not on price. A few news items to hit on here. Field Mouse, this is the guy's name, Field Mouse. Not an actual field mouse. The guy's name is Field Mouse. Climbed from his street stock at Pike County Speedway in Magnolia, Mississippi after a crash, ran back down the track, and kicked a moving car. He was a little pissed off at the guy. Kicked the moving car. Mouse ended up rolling around the ground in pain and had a broken leg, ankle, something messed up. not the smartest thing to do. Number one, getting out of your car, bad idea. Number two, running at cars coming toward you, even if they're under caution, bad idea. Number two,
yeah.
And then to kick a car.
I thought we all learned our lesson a few years ago with this.
It seems like it has been forgotten. I've seen a lot of people getting out of cars recently, and I don't know if tracks have been doing much about that, but before it was, unless your car's on fire, you stay in the car. Do not get out under any circumstances.
Absolutely.
We had an issue of this at Shady Bowl over the weekend. No. I don't think it was going to be anything, but the driver coming down the track stopped, and then the guy that had walked out the motion and decided he was going to get closer. And it probably could have been avoided had the crew been a little bit more on it.
It seems to be happening quite a bit. Maybe COVID has made people angry. Speaking of angry, a fight broke out after the Stadium Super Trucks support race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course this past weekend. Did you guys see any of this? Hear about this?
Didn't.
No.
So
this is news.
I saw the video. I should have pulled the video up here, but you guys can look it up. Bo Lemastis confronted Bill Hines after Hines wrecked Lemastis after the race because he was displeased with Lemastis, who skipped some of the jumps and passed Hines. Lemastis ended up putting he had his helmet off. Hines kept his helmet on. He had his Hans device and everything, but Lemastis put his hands up like under his helmet, trying to get him to take his helmet off, and Hines ended up punching him, and Lemastis then went and got his steering wheel and took it off and chucked it at Hines, and then Hines picked up Lemastis' helmet as Lemastis had backed off, kind of backing away, and slammed it to the pavement a couple times. Pieces went flying out of that, and then Lemastis ended up over by a track worker, found an extinguisher, and it looked like he was going to take that into the fight, but he took about 3 steps and just threw it down and turned around and went back behind the wall. That was the end of the fight there. I was like, that was interesting.
I did see that video.
Did you see that? Okay.
I didn't realize that's what it was from. It was from the Stadium Truck race, so that's crazy.
And so apparently those guys get pissed off too. Some sad news over the weekend. A man was killed after a crash at Hartwell Speedway down in Georgia, I believe it was, this past week. And a car spun and crashed over a wall, through a fence, and into the infield pits, injuring a child, a male in his 30s, and killing 57-year-old Paul Ballinger. So, weird freak accident there. I remember hearing about that Sunday, I think. Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's getting a facelift starting after this weekend's NASCAR races. The corners will be going from 24 to 28 degrees of banking, and the width of the corners will decrease from 55 feet to 40 feet.
Ooh.
So I'm guessing it's going to be faster and narrower.
Atlanta, when it's freshly paved, they're turning over 210 miles an hour as it is. So
I remember when they first reconfigured. This is how old I am. Back in the day, it used to be a true oval, and then they made it the quad oval there with the dog leg. And when they first did that first pavement, I remember they were up. Speeds were crazy for a mile and a half, and now they're going to do this, and I'm guessing we're going to have some fast speed. Although they're going to be. Do they have another race there this year? I didn't look that up. Or is the first race probably going to be next year with the next generation cars?
Ooh, that's a good question. I thought Atlanta used to be the finale
used to have
years ago, and that's changed.
Well, anyway. NASCAR schedule. Yeah, well, get back to me on that, Jerry. That's you're on
I can do that.
You're on that mission. In the meantime, Chase Elliott, he's going to be competing in the SRX season finale at Nashville Fairgrounds on July 17th. That means that Chase is going to be racing his dad, Bill.
Ooh,
that could be pretty interesting. Yeah. So that's
racing your kid can be a challenge.
Well, do you have equally prepared cars?
Oh yeah.
Pretty close, I would think, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Steve does some things to his car that I don't think Ron does. All the time.
Some are good, some are bad.
Oh, okay. And speaking of Kyle Larson, who we were talking about a little bit earlier, he's going to be competing in the Knoxville Nationals. So, I mean, why not?
I did see that was confirmed. I did see that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes for everyone else.
And that's all the news that I have for now. Take a look at our Twitter poll. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. Our Twitter poll was, should we do more live on location shows like we did last week at Big D's Pizza? And 78.6% said yes, 7.1% said no, and 14% just said who cares. So, based on our results last week, which were pretty damn close, I forget what the poll was. I just remember it was close. That's a pretty overwhelming majority there. So I guess we're going to have to do this again.
Have to do that. So Atlanta, this is the only Atlanta race.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
So it will be next.
They're back to only having one race. So
it'll be next year when the new configuration debuts with the next gen car. So, well, at least for the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series, I don't think they're having a next gen car. Are they?
I don't think so right away. They do. I'm sorry, Atlanta does have two races. They had one in March as well. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they've already raced. This will be the second one for the year. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, thanks to Ron Miller Race Cars. I'm going to be visiting him tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
I heard that.
Michigan. 734-856-7223. Race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, advice, anything a racer needs. I called him last night. I had a problem. I did something stupid. Stripped out something on my aluminum intake and had to helicoil that bad boy to get my carburetor back on.
Helicoil is your friend.
It is. It's like an eraser. It erases your mistakes. So that's what I'm going with. Let's play How Many. Last week's How Many was how many Renegades were going to be at the Renegade Rumble Friday night at Sandusky Speedway. And after I got back, I did give Chris Mize Brian Smith's phone number, but I don't know that he found a compact for him to race or not. But in any case, they did have 21 cars. So I was the show winner. I picked 26 last week. I was closest of us. And our online winner, he was the only one to pick the exact number, 21, Doug Frost. So Doug Frost gets himself a free Big D's Pizza. Let's get with Dean Henry and get that sorted out for you. So congratulations to Doug Frost. This week's How Many is, and I see some people have made guesses on things. Those don't count because we were talking, never mind.
Oh, the Doty Classic, yeah.
Ignore
those previous numbers.
Yeah, Norm and Brian. I think that Norm was referring to how many sprint cars are going to be there on Tuesday, which is part of this week's How Many. It's just part. It's another math one. We're going to do an additive. Addictive? No. We're going to do a sum of how many vintage American race cars are going to be at Oakshade on Saturday. And that number varies quite a bit. And I'm actually probably going to have to count the cars when I'm there to get a count. How many vintage American race cars will be at Oakshade on Saturday? I'd say we'd average about 20 would be my guess. And then also, in addition to that, the sum of that plus how many World of Outlaws will be at, how many sprint cars, even if they're not World of Outlaw drivers, local, anything, sprint cars at Attica Raceway Park on Tuesday for the Brad Doty. So that total number is this week's How Many. How many total vintage American race cars at Oakshade plus sprint cars at Attica? Just one number. Don't put two numbers. Scott Warner's got it right there. He's got one number. And that will be your guess for this week's How Many. Put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live or our YouTube Live. And whoever's closest will get a Big D's Pizza. And if we have a tie, we'll spin the Big D's Pizza wheel to determine the winner of everybody who guesses. So I see the guesses are starting to roll in. And apparently I have to guess first because I won last week.
Yes, you do.
So I'm still kind of stalling here. I'm going to go with 70. I'm going with 70. 70 vintage American race cars and sprint cars. Vintage American race cars Saturday at Oakshade. Sprint cars Tuesday at Attica. The total. Does Dean himself make himself pizza? Dean actually wins quite a bit. And then I disqualify him.
He has donated the pizza quite a few times as well. So
and a lot of our winners have donated the pizza. But Dean's a pretty good guesser. So he says 52. He may be pretty close there. But I don't know. I would say 52 would just be the sprint car number. at Attica. Minus, anyways, my guess is 70. So what do you got, Felix?
I'm going with 18 and 45. Call it 63.
I'm glad you did that math for me. What do you got, Jerry?
I'm going 67.
67? All right, right in the middle there. Okay.
Yeah, I think John Deere has it right. I'm thinking 53 sprint cars at the Attica at the Brad Doty Classic, and I'm thinking 14 vintage American race cars at Oakshade. I think that's pretty good numbers.
Okay. We'll find out. We'll announce the winner next week. Who's going to get that Big D's Pizza? We'll take guesses up until 5 o'clock on Saturday. That'll be the cutoff. So if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio, whatever, you can still, even if you're not listening to us live, just find our Facebook Live broadcast or the YouTube and put your guess in the comments. As long as before 5 o'clock on Saturday.
If you're not listening to us live, why not?
Some people can't. Some people go to bed early. Some people it's working.
I know.
I think John Young is actually working. He's waiting for the weather report. He's usually working. He should be he should be working right now. I think he's got earbuds in though when he does that.
He was asking about the new kid. So was Tim Nichols.
Yeah. That's a new kid down there. He just goes by Jerry. He's got no last name.
Yeah.
So seriously, you look like you're 15 years younger.
Yeah, and it's terrible. I got to get some fuzz back on this face. Oh.
Tomorrow night, racing action this weekend. Lima Land is off. It's a scheduled off. That's not a rain out. That's just. Do you know why they're off this weekend? Is there?
UNOH sponsors country concert down in Fort Laramie, Ohio. So they actually give us all tickets. It's a chance for us to enjoy some time off and go have some fun. So
if you like country, though, right?
Well, yeah, if you like country music.
Not my thing. Not my thing.
It's the only thing, Scott.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I like both kinds of music, country and western.
Absolutely.
We're not getting.
I've got quite a big Spotify.
There's always
playlist.
Weird stuff playing when I go over to your place. There's like Spanish stuff going on. I'm like, what is this? What are we listening to?
My music's the same way. You never know what you're going to hear with me. It could vary from stuff like Ray Charles to it could be the Inner Circle Avenue, which I have listened to.
There you go.
They're actually very deep. They're all of their stuff is very good, including our theme song. So
very eclectic.
Yes.
Attica Raceway Park in action Friday night. So a lot of racing going on at Attica this weekend. Well, if you count Tuesday as the weekend. I guess you don't. Yeah. So never mind. Attica Raceway Park has the Krogan, Colonial Bank, Steinley Buick, or Chevrolet Buick in Clyde night, featuring the AFCS 410 Sprints. That's $4,000 to win thanks to Spanky's Pizza. The UMP late models, the AFCS 305 Sprints. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:45. General admission is $18 for that show. And I left some. I do better at doing this prep stuff. Oakshade race. That's the only thing going on in our area Friday night. Saturday night got quite a bit to choose from. Here you got Oakshade Raceway with the Tim Fisher Billy Ruff Memorial, late model sportsman, bombers, compacts, and the vintage American race cars. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission $14. Flat Rock Speedway. It's the Firecracker 150 with Outlaw Super late models, street stocks. They're gonna have a 50-lap feature, factory stocks. Figure eights having a 30-lap feature. Gates open at 5, racing at 7. General admission $18 there. Sandusky Speedway, it's the Renegades, the Pure Stocks, and the Beginner Stocks. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission $5 at Sandusky. Shady Bowl Speedway, the Blackford 55 late models, $15.55 to win for that one. Street Stocks, compacts, and is it really Powder Puff Crown Vics?
We are running Powder Puff and the Crown Vics, and they are going to run a regular Crown Vic race too, but it's not going to be for points. Just because the cars are already going to be there, we're going to let the guys have a run too, but no points. But should be a great show.
Grandstand 4 o'clock there, racing at 7 o'clock. Fremont Speedway is back in action this weekend after being off last weekend. It's Ballman Auto Group night. the Attica Fremont Championship Series 410 Sprints, 305s, AFCS 305s, and the dirt trucks all in action. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission $15 there at Fremont Speedway. And then next week, as we mentioned, the Brad Doty Classic at Attica Raceway Park on Tuesday, July 13th. Gates open at 3 o'clock with the World of Outlaws. Racing will start at 7:30. General admission is $32. I believe the reserve seats are $37 for that. So you can get more information at AtticaRacewayPark.com or the WorldOfOutlaws.com. I believe is at their website.
Yeah.
And then looking ahead, Wednesday, Eldora Speedway back in action. I believe Jerry's going to be making the trip down there next week. Wednesday is the 38th annual Kings Royal Jokers Wild, featuring the World of Outlaws. Gates open at noon, racing at 7:30. General admission's $29 for Wednesday. And then Thursday night, next Thursday during the show, the...
Yeah, you missed that one on the
I did.
Next Wednesday's the Joker's Wild. Thursday
is the Kings Royal.
Yep, Kings Royal.
Yeah.
And then Friday's the night before the Kings Royal.
And that's the 37th one on Saturday.
You got it.
Because they're doing this year's first and then last year's. They're making up all the big events from last year. So basically Wednesday through Saturday at Eldora, you got the World of Outlaws. Easiest way to look at it.
Should be a tremendous event. I mean, obviously losing the Kings Royal last year, that's one of the crown jewels down there. Probably my favorite sprint car race of all time. And I've been lucky enough to go to the Knoxville Nationals, places like that. Eldora's just got its own mystique. It's something about that place. So
you're going to be live from Eldora next week?
Next Thursday, I will be live from Eldora. We'll see how the noise level is, but we should be good. If I have to, I'll duck inside Tim's trailer, and then we'll do it live from in there with the simulators.
Very good.
All right. What's that forecast look like, Mr. Ron Miller?
Scott, it's really pretty interesting. Friday looks pretty good. Friday, Saturday are kind of mirror images of each other with mid to upper 70s for the temperatures. Humidity is going to be down. Just a real slight chance of rain. No big deal. Looks like Mother Nature might water the tracks a little on Sunday and Monday, but not much going on those days. Looking ahead to the Brad Doty Classic, a little bit warmer than what we'll have this weekend, but still just very minimal chances of rain, and they're not going to last. They'll just be, what are you doing?
He's giving his forecast too.
I was impressed. Your forecast was actually pretty close. So you're actually reading a
five. It is.
I figured you'd be making it up.
No. Tuesday looks good. Wednesday, Thursday. I think we're looking really great for the big races. There's a slight chance of rain, but everything I'm seeing says that they're going to be hit or miss and no huge events, no 2-inch ones.
Well, I did notice that Saturday, I thought it was 60% chance of rain on Saturday, but that is now at least half of that now. So that's gone down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks like just small chances. So I think we should be good to go racing this weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Tuesday.
But like I say, Sunday and Monday, Mother Nature's going to do some track prep.
That's good. Some tracks can use it.
Yes.
So there you go.
Nobody's going to touch that one. All right, then. Thanks again to associate producer Dave Kemmer, field correspondent Span Swander, Doug Dock, John Young. We're going to add him on there. No Hammer Down hotline this week. At least I don't think so. I didn't see any notifications, and I didn't check before we came on. But if you would like to be on the show for any reason, feel free to leave us a message at any time at 419-318-3081. That's 419-318-3081. Anytime, day or night. If you leave us a message before like 6 o'clock on Thursday, there's a good chance whatever you put on there may make the show in some form or another. It may not be in the exact form that you recorded in, but that's why we leave it for the end of the show. I don't even know if you can call this show. Again, thanks to our sponsors, of course, Oakshade Raceway, our presenting sponsor. Getting all choked up about it. Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Big D's Pizza, Ron Miller Race Cars, and Freeze Frame Photos. Thanks for helping us out. So, a little bit of show meeting now at the end of the show. You want to set up something in your basement, Ron?
We can do it.
We work out the thing, so at least part of the show will be live, and then we have the opportunity to have guests back live, and it will be the actual Ron Miller Race Car Studio.
Again.
Yeah. And anytime Jerry's up in town, he can join us live too. Otherwise, this way works just fine. So
and we're not that far from a whole lot of restaurants, so we could have pizza brought in. It probably wouldn't be as good as what we had last week. Kind of disappointing, but that pizza, that Super Supreme, oh man, that was amazing. And it's a shame Scott didn't like all the stuff that was on it.
I liked everything else. What was the garlic bread with cheese? What did they call that?
Yeah.
Garlic boat.
Boat, yes. That floated well in my mouth.
I did not get to try it. You ate it all.
I did eat it all.
He killed it.
It was sitting next to me. It was saying, "Eat me." And it was windy, and I didn't want it to blow away, so I had to eat it before it blew away.
Good job there, Scott. Good job.
It's very important stuff. So next week on the show, I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm thinking maybe we'll do a preview for the birthday race, the big birthday, because we haven't had that in a couple of years at Oakshade.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get
coming up here real soon.
Yeah, a week from Saturday.
It's next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's the same night as the Kings Run. Yeah. So we'll do something big for that next week. Again, for our presenting sponsor, Oakshade Raceway. We'll get a late model driver or two to come on. Sure, we can line something up.
I'll bet.
Yeah. So make sure to join us.
Maybe we can get lucky and get Nick Hoffman and Kenny Wallace.
Oh, there you go. And how about we'll get Dr. Jerry Punch back on too?
There we go. We'll have it all. It'll be a 4-hour
extravaganza. No, I don't know if Ron can make it. He'll have to push back his dinner.
Nah.
Or he'll just bring it to his basement. We'll be fine.
We ate on the air last
week. We'll be all right.
We ate on the air last week. We can do it again.
That's true. All right, we'll catch you next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Don't forget to check out HammerdownRacerReport.com. And, of course, listen to us anytime on your favorite podcasting platform, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're there.
Get your backside, trackside.
That's it.
And your front side, too. Both sides. Both sides. It'd be weird. A bunch of butts walking up the track. Support your local track. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.